right, now let's begin today's lesson, which is your mock paper number 1. Let me share the screen. Okay, let me double check. I have 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 people are here. Okay. Right, let's start. Okay, this is the first question. So this is a plant, and then there's 3 parts here, Q, R, and S. So the question here is, actually this question, if you don't read it clearly, you will misunderstand this question. So they're asking you, where do they remove the food? Hang on, highlighter. The food carrying tubes. All right, they are not talking about water carrying tubes. They are only talking about food carrying tubes. They are removed from which part? Are they removed from Q, or are they removed from R, or are they removed from S? So that the fruit, right, becomes bigger. I want the fruit to be bigger size. So here, if I want to get, hang on. All right, if I want the biggest fruit, so I need the food, that means I want to have the most food store here. I want a lot of food to be stored, to be collected inside my fruit. Then my fruit will become bigger. So where should I cut the food carrying tubes? I'm not cutting the water carrying tubes. I'm only removing the food carrying tubes as shown in the question here. Food carrying tubes are removed. All right. So you have to actually remove the food carrying tubes from point S here. So this part. So imagine here, I remove, so I'm going to write here, I remove only the food carrying tubes. All right, I never touch the water carrying tubes. I only took out the food carrying tubes, by digging an outer layer, by cut the outer layer of the stem out. The inner layer of the stem, I do not touch it. All right, now first part that you must understand is which part of the plant makes food? Can you all type into the chat, please? Which part of the plant makes food? Okay, good job, Brian. Which part of the plant makes food? Good job, Yashika. Good job, Hannah. Good job, Tommy. Good job, Nikki. Good job, Serena. Good job, Denise. All right, I hope all are here. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one person who has not responded to my question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people. I have 8. Brian. Brian, are you there? Oh, Brian gave me the answer already. Okay. Nikki, give me. Sana. Oh, that is Sana. Okay, so I have 8 responses. All right, so the leaves make food. So actually what happens is the so you need to know leaves make food. And then next thing you must know is the food gets transported, right, in the food carrying tubes. All right, food is transported not via the water carrying tubes, but in the food carrying tube. There are many, many food carrying tubes in the stem, right? So my question to you is, which direction will the food go? Does the food get transported only upwards or only downwards or up and down? Can you type into the chat? How does the food get transported? To up and down, or is it just up, or is it just down, or up and down? Okay, so most of you got the correct answer, but at least 2 of you have gotten the wrong answer. Don't worry if you've gotten the wrong answer. That's why that's the purpose of today's lesson. You learn you learn to change your wrong ideas, wrong conceptions. All right. So for food, right, is transported up and down. Okay, so up and down for food. It is different from water. So let me just write. If it's water, all right, so water is transported So I use the word transported. It sounds like MRT transport system. So food is transported in the water carrying tubes. All right, so we have two types of tube. We have many water carrying tubes. We have many food carrying tubes. But for water, right, the direction will be, can y'all tell me, the water will only go in which direction? Can y'all type into the chat for water? How does the water get transported? Is it only down or is it up and down? Okay, I think all of you got the correct answer for this. So only, okay, so let me highlight this so that you get it very clear. If it's water, is up. All right. If it's food, actually, no, for food, right, is up and down. Okay, so food goes two directions. So take note of that. All right, because two of you got the wrong idea. Food can go to all parts of the plant. Food that is made in the leaves can be transported up and down. All right, so if you remove the food carrying tubes here, now these are all the leaves. All the leaves were made, so many leaves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 leaves, all make a lot of food. And after the food is made in these 7 leaves, food will go up and down. All right, all directions to all parts of the plant. But the problem is when a food goes up downwards, they will get stuck here, right? Because here I remove the food carrying tubes. It's just like a road. Okay, so this is a road. At first it's continuous road, but now I remove part of the road. So I remove part of the road, it becomes like that. Then your cars, all right, your cars, I can't draw cars. Your cars cannot move downwards already. Your cars can only go, all right, go upwards, but your car cannot go downwards because there is a space here where you remove the food carrying tubes. All right, so in other words, in this case, all the food made by the leaves can only be transported upwards. It will go all the way upwards to the food. So fruit, sorry. Therefore, your fruit will store a lot of food and your fruit become bigger size, which is what we want. Okay. Then next is the plant will wilt the fastest. Now let's talk about water. When you talk about wilting, all right, this word, no, one blue. All right, this word wilting actually talks about water. If you don't have enough water, okay, wilt means insufficient, not enough water. So if the plant does not have enough water, the leaves will wilt, right? So this is the water in the soil. Okay, water in the soil is absorbed. Okay, so the roots, hang on. Okay, then I got to rewrite because let me write here. The roots, what is a key word here is absorb. The roots absorb the water. In the soil. And then the water carrying tubes will the water carrying tubes will transport the water all the way upwards, no problem, because I never touch the water carrying tubes. Water carrying tubes are not removed in this question. All right, in this question, I never touch the water carrying tube. So water carrying tubes, no problem. Okay, so the water will be absorbed by the roots. The water will get transported upwards to the leaves. But the problem is roots will also go hungry. All right, roots are also a living thing. So roots need to eat food. Roots cannot make food, right? Roots depend on the leaves to give it food. All right, so the roots will tell the leaves, please give me some food. I'm so hungry. The roots are so hungry. But the problem now is the food cannot get transported downwards to the roots. Okay, so when there's no water that goes to the roots will, sorry, when there's no food that goes down to the, okay, I'm going to write it here. So the food made by leaves, all right, cannot be transported downwards because I cut away the food carrying tubes at point S. Cannot be transported downwards to the roots. So the poor roots will be very hungry. Therefore, the roots will die. And if the roots die, there's no more roots to absorb water. And if the roots do not absorb water, then even though your water carrying tubes are still there, nothing, we did not remove the water carrying tubes, but the roots, if the roots die of hunger, then the roots cannot absorb any more water, then all the leaves do not have enough water, the leaves will start to wilt. So in this case, the answer is D. All right, so you actually remove the food carrying tubes, remove from point D. Sorry, point S. Point S here, this part, this is point S. So I remove the food carrying tubes here. I do not touch the water carrying tubes. I remove the food carrying tubes here. Because I remove the food carrying tubes here, the food made by all the leaves on top cannot be transported downwards to the roots below. Roots will be very hungry because roots cannot make their own food. Only leaves can make their food. So roots be hungry. Roots are so hungry, roots die. After the roots die of hunger, the roots cannot absorb water for the plant. So the leaves have not enough water. The leaves will start to wilt. All right, then why the fruit becomes bigger is because there's so many leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 leaves, maybe I'll write in green. So many leaves, all the 7 leaves make food. And all these food, right? I write the food, it's supposed to be transported in and down. But downwards, it cannot go downwards because I cut away I remove the food carrying tubes at point S. So the 7 leaves make food. All right, and all this food which is accumulated, all right, which is transported only to the fruit on top because it cannot go, which is transported only upwards to the fruit. So the fruit will become bigger. All right, so because I cut away the food, I remove the food carrying tubes here, therefore this direction is crossed out. The food cannot go downwards. It cannot go down beyond this part. It can only go, if I were to actually draw, it can go up, it can go down. So let me draw, it can go up this way, the food, the leaves make food, it can go up, it can go down up to here, stop here. But it cannot go beyond the red part, like the part that where I remove the food carrying tubes. All right, so is there any question for this? So please remember, water goes only upwards, food is up and down. But in this case, once you cut away the food carrying tubes at point S, then the food cannot go down. So the roots will go hungry. The roots do not have food to eat. So roots will die. After the roots die, no more water absorbed by the roots. The leaves will have not enough water. The leaves will start to wilt. All right. If there's any question or if you do not understand, please feel free to stop me at any time. Let's move on to the next question. All right, now this question, okay, say there are 3 setups, container A, B, and C. All right, she placed 3 similar plants. So for a fair experiment, fair test, I must use 3 similar plants. I also use 3 identical containers. Cannot be one container bigger size, one container smaller size, and not fair. So, and then I add equal amount of water. Now let's assume there is, maybe I will change the blue so that it's easier for you. 100 ml of water. At first, I have 100 ml of water at first in each of the 3 containers. All right. Then she added a layer of oil. Now, can you type into the chat? Everyone try. Why do I want to add a layer of oil on top of the water? Everybody type into the chat. I give you 20 seconds to type in the chat because some of you can type very fast. You see, I have an answer from Yashika. Yashika, good job. Nikki, you have the idea